Hey, what's up, guys? It's official. I am starting my job hunt as of today. So I've only been coding for about 7 months now, so I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some hiccups and it's not gonna go as smoothly as I'm hoping, but it's never too early to start learning the process, right? And who knows, it might work out for the best. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm Michael. I've started teaching myself how to code about 7 months ago now and have documented every month of that here on the channel. If that's something you guys would be interested in checking out, I will have links down in the description below. And without the way, let's get into it. Now, with anything, the most important part is planning, right? Preparation. There's that old saying, what is it? That failing to plan is planning to fail, right? You see that all the time in the Marine Corps. That was like one of the things they drill into you. So I'm gonna apply that into this job hunt. So I decided to break it into 3 phases. The first phase is research and development. That's the phase that this video is going to focus on. We're going to take a look at all the job openings available in my area for a JavaScript developer, a React developer, a junior developer, or specifically a junior front-end developer, because that's the area I'm trying to get involved in, web development. And we're going to see what languages or other skills might be needed, or what kind of stacks they're looking for specifically. And then we're going to favorite those opportunities and try to come back to them at a later time. Now, phase 1 is important because it gives us a plan of what to do going forward. We know both how to spend our time and what we need to focus our learning time working on. And during this time, it's also really important to be consistent with coding. So right from the get-go, if you guys don't have a GitHub account, make a GitHub account. I'm going to be pushing stuff up to Git every single day so I get those beautiful green squares that light up. This is an important step because it will show whoever's looking at you and your portfolio that you've been coding for a consistent amount of time. Then we're going to have phase 2. Phase 2 is where most of the work's going to happen. This is where I'm going to rebuild my portfolio and tweak it and make it look really clean and tighten it up, and then add one new project that I worked on, a landing page for a company with a functioning form. And then if I can, I want to build another API project and then try to build one more project using a backend I've made myself. So after that, I'm going to tailor my resume so that my prior work experience can somehow translate over well into a developer role. And then we move on to phase 3, the application and the interview prep. Now, this is where we're going to apply to all those positions that we found earlier in phase 1 and be on the lookout for new opportunities. So it's important in phase 3 to not only continue learning, but to also set aside some time to work on the basics and start looking out there and finding interview questions and knowing how to approach those questions with good answers. And then here we'll be sending out 10 applications a day and then calling companies trying to get around HR and being crafty and thrifty. And that's it. That's gonna be my approach to this job hunt. So now we're just gonna jump right on into phase 1. All right, so I just spent like the last 40 minutes or so going through all of the developer jobs available in my area for both JavaScript developers, junior web developers, and React developers. And there's a lot of jobs that want you to do UI work, like experience with Adobe is required, and you know, like Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. I mean, I can use Photoshop, but I'm sure it's nowhere near to the level they want. But I was able to go through and kind of comb through and find the jobs that I think that, you know, I'd actually stand a chance at getting. Maybe I'm setting the bar too low, maybe, you know, I need to be a little more confident in my ability, but the jobs seem like they're within my grasp, if that makes sense. So I found 6. We can take a look at those 6 real quick. This one's for a junior associate developer, and as you guys can see, the requirements are pretty low. You have to have a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, computer science, or related field, or equivalent military experience. I'm trying to use my military experience to get through, even though it's probably not equivalent. I'm still going to use it. But your skills and experience, less than 1 year of professional work experience. You know, I don't think that's me. Maybe in this field, we can go with that, in this field. Excellent software engineering proficiency in the following, along with supporting a math and science skills. I mean, Java, C#, and JavaScript. It's a pretty wide breadth, right? With HTML and CSS. Platforms including public and private clouds, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. I'm not really familiar with any of that. Patterns and frameworks, DevOps and microservices and APIs. Hey, I'm good with APIs. React, there we go. Angular and 12-factor and more. I don't know. Actually, the more I look at this one, the more weird it seems, but I don't know. It seemed okay. Then we have a front-end developer job. They're just looking for the ability to problem solve with extensive knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and JavaScript frameworks, extensive knowledge of JavaScript, ECMAScript 2015, and Vue.js. Now, I don't know Vue at all, but they say it's a bonus to have knowledge of React or Angular, and I have React knowledge, so maybe I can work my way in there. Now, the pay on this one's on the low end of things, 18 to 24 an hour. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not bad at all. And you probably won't get 18, you won't get 24. They're going to meet you in the middle somewhere, so probably like $22. But not too shabby. And we found another one that requires 2 to 3 years of React, Redux, CSS, and JavaScript there. Another front-end developer job that is looking for 3 years of web application development experience, 2 years of client-side development experience, 1 year of React.js experience, automated testing tools and techniques. I've used Jest, so that counts, right? Experience with testing and CSS and Sass. So I've used a lot of that, not for the time frames that they want, but I've touched it all at least. And I'm hoping that's enough to give me a shot. And we got another front-end job here that wants 3 years in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. And also wants experience in Redux and Git. These are preferred. Another one that just wants 3 years of JavaScript, 2 years of React, and 1 year of Git. So what I've noticed more than anything else so far is that the majority of the positions want like 2 to 3 years of experience. And I'm sure that's just a way to gatekeep people who are brand new from applying. They see the 2 or 3 experience, they get kind of scared, don't want to do it. But those are the ones I chose to stick with. There were some that want like 5 and 10 years of experience, and obviously that's way out of my reach. So I tried to stick to junior roles, and I tried to stick to jobs that want like anywhere from 1 to 3 years of experience. One of the things I'm gonna have to pick up on, let me see here, I wrote a couple things down. I'm gonna need to pick up Google Web Tools, GWT, at least just figure out what it is and familiarize myself with it, because I saw that pop up a couple times, and Redux. Now, I know what Redux is, but I've never used it. I know it's for managing state in React, but I've never given it a shot, so maybe I might build a small project using Redux just to familiarize myself with it and get the hang of it so I can actually add that to my portfolio and resume. I would say I'd familiarize myself with Photoshop, but like, you know, to what level with that? What kind of UX, UI do I want to do? That's really not what I'm interested in. I just want to, you know, I want to build good looking websites, but I don't want to be editing photos forever. There's people who can do that for a living, you know what I mean? That's a real skill in itself. So I also checked PHP. PHP didn't have as many openings as I thought. I'd been spending the last week or so, every night, I've been dropping about an hour learning PHP before bed, and I thought there would be a lot more job openings for PHP. Now, I can say that the job requirements for the PHP jobs were significantly less. Like, a majority of the PHP junior positions I saw only wanted 1 year of experience. And you know, with probably 3 to 6 months of like consistent effort in learning PHP, you could probably squeeze your way into those jobs. So I think the bar for entry for PHP is significantly lower, and there was a ton of jobs that wanted a .NET stack, like experience with the .NET stack, and that was surprising to see. So it looks like .NET is an easier way in than just going with JavaScript, and PHP is an easier way in. Just from what I've seen, the bar of entry seems lower if you have those down. There was a ton of JavaScript jobs and React jobs, but the levels vary and the experience and skills vary. A lot of people say they want a front-end dev, and you look and it's all back-end stuff, you know. So going forward, when we start working with our resume and our portfolio and getting them ready to apply to jobs like this, moving on to phase 2, I'm gonna have to incorporate Redux into something, that's for sure. Everything else just seems to be about getting more experience and getting comfortable with object-oriented programming and just the fundamentals. So over the next week, just so you guys know, I'm going to be working on my portfolio and probably starting a new project up with Redux. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to try to incorporate that in there somewhere. If you guys like the content, do like, share, and subscribe. The channel's growing. We're getting there. We're moving on up, all right? And that's going to do it for the first video in this series, the phase 1. Phase 2 should be out in, I'd say, 2 weeks-ish. That's the time frame. I want to get my portfolio updated and done, and then I want to get these next 2 projects in there, and then I'm going to start tailoring my resume and building that. And that's going to be on display in phase 2, the next video. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.